Okay, people. We got 9 people in the Twitch right now. Excited for this. I'm excited for this.
Same.
Welcome to everyone who's in here right now to the first Marine Mondays. What up, Icy Boy? How we doing? Thank you, everyone, for chatting before we went live here. I'm excited. I'm super excited. And what I was about to tell Lam here, we will introduce him in a second. But I'm super excited for this because, and I was telling my girl this, I've been excited about things with streaming, like posting videos,
right,
posting content, seeing people subscribe and people like interact, right? That's exciting. But I've never been like excited about an idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been, because the idea of posting content,
right,
that's like kind of normal, especially in today's world. But I can't, like, I had this idea, and though it's not like an original idea, podcast or a thing all over the world.
It's going over you out of your routine, it's out of your scope.
And I was super excited about it. I thought about it while I was having those before you fall asleep thoughts.
Yeah.
Where you're just thinking about the world.
Right.
And how you can create a rocket. And and this came to me where I was like, why don't I just do it for the people that enjoy watching me anyway?
Right.
And you know what it is? A lot of the feedback that I get from people is that, like, they watch, yes, because of the gameplay, right? But I'm not a professional gamer, right? I'm not a professional Call of Duty.
Right.
There's people way better than me all over the world, right? Why watch me? And a lot of the people that have stayed around for so long tell me that they stay around because of
the interaction.
The connection, right? Which I love. And I was like, well, why don't I just take that to the next level?
Yeah, they love them tiny dogs.
Yeah. Hey, let's go, channel. What up, baby? Hey, guys. So before we start the questions, I'd like to just say for the people in the Twitch right now, I'd like to thank everyone for joining for the first SonofaDeacon podcast ever. But I'd also like to say, if I don't say hello to you, if I don't say or don't answer a question off rip, I'm going to try and get a few mods in here. This is obviously the first time we're doing this, so there's going to be some kinks. But I love constructive criticism. I want some feedback from you guys, so DM me on TikTok, DM me on Instagram if you follow me, whatever it may be. But okay, we're going to start this off.
Let's do it.
First, I'm going to introduce my guest here. First guest on the podcast, big staple. We have, and I'm going to leave this up to you.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce you as LCpl Lam.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Poppy.
Yep.
Poppy Lam. So introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Poppy Lam, LCpl Lam. Also, 23 years old. SonofaDeacon over here is actually one of my leaders at work. Really good mentor, and he just asked me to come out, and I'm excited too, honestly, because like you said, you going out of your scope to do this, like, it's exciting for me because I get to see like new content because I'm one of your supporters, and then to just be a part of it, like being the first guest. I'm honored.
True.
Let's go.
I love it. No, I mean, I don't know who else is in here, but I like that. You were one of, I think, 3 people that came into mind.
Yeah.
From my immediate workplace.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I should probably ask them. So okay. So we're gonna let's just start from the basics, right? So you already said your age, right? When did you join the Marine Corps? At what age?
So I joined the Marine Corps when I was 20, turned 21 in boot camp. So that's 2022.
Right?
2022.
And you're from New York?
I'm from New York, and I joined out of Kentucky because my family moved like 2 years about. But I was born and raised in New York.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Is Deacon wearing boxers? I do look like I don't have pants on. That's a good start. Let's fix that. Okay. So you joined out of Kentucky. You're originally from New York. You joined at 20, right? 2022.
2022.
Yep. And so my first question about that would be, what brought you into the recruiting office?
All right. So this is actually like kind of weird for me to talk about. Like, I still reminisce about it. It's I was living at home with my mom, and I was 20 years old. I was working 2 jobs. Had no motion. Motion for old people is like no like really anything like ambition to drive myself, nothing like that. And so I was on the phone with this girl. She was a Marine out of Miramar, and she was admin. She was like, "Why don't you join the Marine Corps?" Because I was venting to her and I was telling her like, "Yo, I hate my life. Like, I have nothing going on for me. I was in school, but I hated school. Like, I was just in school to be in school.
Okay.
You know?" And so she was like, "Why don't you join the Marine Corps?" I was like, "Okay." And
So you
then
just did it.
I literally just did it. Like, I went in to the recruiter's office. I told him, "Listen, like, I don't want none of the BS. Like, I don't want you to sell me nothing. Just help me take the test. Help me get uh the job I want, which was firefighting, and I'll go."
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wanted crash crew.
I wanted crash crew.
And you told the recruiter that.
Yep.
Okay, and you got it.
I got crash crew. Yep.
Right? And did the recruiter, when you went in there, did the recruiter, because you said, "Hey, this is what I would like. I don't know what number it is, but I would like firefighting."
Yeah.
Did he say like, "Sure," or did he like try and put you through a loop? Did he say maybe, maybe not?
He did kind of put me through a loop. Just the Marine Corps wants bodies, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, we don't have firefighting, but we have crash crew. I'm like, what is that? And he's telling me about ARF and telling me like what it pertains to. I'm like, yeah, that's close enough. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so like, what he didn't tell me was you have to have a certain GT score when you take the ASVAB to get the job you want.
Yep.
Luckily, I was smart enough. And then
timeout.
Go ahead.
ASVAB, for anyone who is watching, okay, ASVAB is a test that you would take. I guess you could equivalent it to like the SATs or something, right? Where it's just a baseline test on a broad source of information to see where you fall. And based on that score that you get is what jobs that you qualify for whatever branch of the military. Doesn't specifically need to be Marine Corps, right? It's anything. But okay, go on. Sorry.
So I took the ASVAB. I got the good GT score. First job that popped up was 7051, which is one of the MLS codes in like the aviation set. So 7,751.
7,000 is the aviation set, yeah.
And then 7,051 is ARF. So I got the job I wanted, and I told my parents like 3 days before I shipped out, and I left.
Oh, okay. So that was gonna. Okay, he's answering a bunch of these questions in one little thought here. This is good stuff. So my next question would be like, where, like at any point, I mean, based off of your story that you originally told, maybe not, right? But maybe, did you have a thought of another branch, or was like, because of the conversation you had with your friend, it was just Marine Corps?
So was my parent, like, you know when your parents tell you to do something, but you're like, no, like I don't want to do that, just to be like kind of a kid, you know?
You want to do the opposite.
I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
So my parents were trying to get me to go to the Navy because my sister's an officer in the Navy.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be in the military at all.
Yeah.
So they said Army too, like you could go there. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. Like,
gotcha.
So the conversation with like the girl helped me like take the Marine Corps. But when I did like the little research I did about is thinking of crap.
Don't read the chat. Don't read the chat. We're not gonna entertain the chat right now.
No, but that conversation with her and the little research I did about the Marine Corps, I was like, man, like it's gonna be a challenge for me. Like it's gonna be like something that changes my life.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I get to be better than my sister because she's in the Navy, you know, and it's like pride of being a Marine. So that's why I did what I did. I was like, okay, send it.
Okay, so you had kind of options, but you yourself were just like Marine.
Yeah, that's what resonated with me.
Okay, that's good because I feel like people talk about. Is that Godinez? Is that Godinez? People talk all the time, or ask me at least, on like, you know, should I join the Marine Corps and stuff?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes, you know, maybe the Marine Corps isn't the best. It's a great option, but it's not the best option for everyone.
It's not
you know
for
what
everyone,
I mean? Like,
no, not at all.
Maybe Air Force work fits if you want to do the military thing. Maybe Air Force fits, or maybe Army fits. Right?
Yeah, that is true. I feel like it's like the 3% for a reason.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so that's where it's like, it's good that, I mean, I guess it's good that you had the original, like you didn't ever waver. You were just like, this is what I want to do.
I was going.
Okay. So then, from what you said at the end there, you said that you told your mom 3 days before you left. How did that go?
All right, so
like because I know how it went with me, and I didn't wait till 3 days before.
So some backstory, right? Again, I was like, I had no motion, man. Like working 2 jobs. She's like trying to get me to stay in school just so I have something going for myself.
Yeah.
But I really had no ambition. Like nothing was clicking for me. And so, like, I was the youngest in my family. I got 2 older sisters. They always doing good, you know?
Sure.
But like I was always the one like lost or like trying to find my way.
Okay.
So I'm telling her, I'm telling my sisters actually, can you help me tell like mommy?
My mom.
Mommy can like I'm trying to join the Marine Corps.
Ease the pain.
Ease the blow, you know, because I don't know, like hearing stuff from me, like your baby boy, like that probably was like a shock to her, you know?
Right.
And so my sister like doesn't wait for me.
We're back.
My sister doesn't wait for me and tells her. And so she tells her, I hear them talking on the phone, and my mom's like, yeah, you know, he changes his mind a lot. I don't really think he's gonna do it, like, etc. Just like, you know, going off based off how I acted, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So I come out the room and I'm like, you don't believe in me? I'm gonna do it. You know, like I was like, I'm gonna really like do this now, like even more. But like,
okay,
that's how she found out.
But off of that mindset, were you doing it now for yourself more, or like to prove a point?
Man, that fire got me through. Just the fact that like I knew like my not my whole family, but like even just my mom like was like, you know, he's gonna waver, kind of like.
Right. Just think like almost like you didn't. Almost like she didn't believe in you.
Exactly. That's
but
exactly
you want to prove her wrong.
Exactly how I felt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you're like, and this is not a question that I wrote down. It's a question I just thought of.
Okay.
Is that mindset also like at that point in your life were you or had you accomplishing anything that was this big, or was like,
I get what you're saying. Like,
you know what I mean, or
like,
was like this was gonna
done anything
of this caliber?
Yeah,
that you know what I mean. Like,
I do understand.
You've probably done things that were exciting and like hard,
right?
But like at this caliber of accomplishment,
nothing close to it. Like, like, man, I'll be real. Like you said, the Marine Corps isn't for everyone, but like me, like I love it. I can't lie. Like, and I don't love everything about it.
Yeah.
You know, but like to this caliber, I don't think there's anything that I could say outside of the Marine Corps. Like you said, I've accomplished stuff. I've done stuff, but
right. But nothing at
this level.
Point.
No.
Right. Okay, that's fair because I feel that. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, standing there at the end with your hand out, it's fucking tough, man.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Tough. No, it is tough.
But the pride you feel after,
it's like
the confidence you have, like
I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now. And I might sound like a boot, but like,
man, I don't care.
It was cool.
It was cool
forever. It was cool.
Like, I love that.
Okay. So recruiting went smooth. Mm-hmm. You got the job that you wanted to off the rip, right? Which is not like the everyone. And I'm sure, depending on how long this goes, as far as like how many people we have on here,
right,
you're gonna meet Marines that didn't get what they wanted. They wanted something, and they got something completely different.
Yeah.
And like they just have to fucking deal with it. You know?
That's the belly of the
beast. So we've now hit boot camp. You're at boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of what company?
Golf Company.
Golf Company.
East
okay.
Coast. Yep.
So
East Coast, baby. Come on now.
What was their little slogan, by the way? I was hotel.
So I know hotel got hotel hell.
Yeah.
So I know like before it used to be gangster golf.
Okay.
But I think now it's like God's golf or something.
God's
like
golf.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean that's fair. I never got into that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it was cool.
Yeah.
But like everyone was like, oh, hotel, India.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, whatever. You know?
Oh, actually, a good one is it was like, you know how they say the golf company?
Sure.
It was the golf company, like the.
like
company,
the Ohio State.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So golf company, you got to boot camp. Now, shipping off.
They frying you in the chat, bro.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna let it go. We're this CJ guy. He doesn't know what from up to down. He doesn't know where he is.
Oh.
You got to boot camp, or you shipped off to boot camp.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Oh, I was shitting my pants.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I was definitely
just
nervous.
because you didn't know what to expect, or just because you didn't was it a lack of thought that it was going to be super hard, maybe physically, and you thought that you didn't know. Okay, yeah. Hey, CJ, I'm gonna say this live with all 9 people watching. Go fuck yourself.
Damn.
All right. Yeah, I know, dude. It looks like it. Maybe I should wear pants next time, bro. Okay. So, you got to boot camp.
Yeah.
You were nervous. Was it because you were physically fit? Because you were you were nervous because of the things you were hearing from other people?
So I didn't really ask other people about boot camp, and I was 20. A lot of people joined the Marine Corps straight out of high school.
Yeah,
18, 19.
So you were a little earlier.
Yeah, I was
Sorry to interrupt. I digress for a second. Did you go to college before at all?
I did go to college. I went to community college for a year and a half.
Okay, so a full year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Got it. Okay. You keep going though. So
yeah,
so you joined a little later than most, which is true.
So all the people at MEPS, we all chopping it up. It's cool, but never about the military. It was just kind of good vibes. But what made me nervous wasn't until I got lights shut off and it was rack time. I felt like I was in jail. If I'm being real,
okay,
because I felt like I was in jail, bro.
So you didn't really feel it until then?
No, I didn't.
Getting off the bus, yellow footsteps, and then the whole process, and then you finally got to the bunk the first night. You're saying, lights off.
Damn, this is really real. I'm here because I get off the bus, right? And they doing the yellow footstep thing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm not tripping. This guy's yelling at me. I'm my mom yelling at me all the time.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm chopping it up with the other recruits in there. And we all chilling, and this lady's yelling at me because I tell her I can't eat this because it has pork because I'm Muslim.
Oh,
okay.
And
I'm just looking, I'm trying not to, because they do the I sir, I man, but with intensely yelling at her.
Sure.
So I'm trying not to talk back, so I'm biting my tongue and I'm I man, I walk away. Yeah. So I'm just trying everybody low key. But when the lights shut off, bro, and I just see straight racks, bald heads, and people getting
right.
I'm oh shit.
This is a real thing.
Yeah,
I can't leave.
I can't leave.
Right.
I don't have my phone.
I had the same.
What am I gonna do?
Maybe it's everyone. I don't know. I mean, this is the first time I've talked about this in a while. But you stepping off the bus on the yellow footstep.
Yeah.
It's not weird.
No.
You walking in because we went East Coast, right?
Yeah.
You walking through the doors and sitting on those desks, right? Not that
it wasn't
weird.
Crazy, no.
Where for me, I started giggling to myself because I was this is I'm here.
The nervous giggle, right?
Every thought that I had about joining is now real.
Yeah.
When I was on the phone, and I was oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And then I got sat down in that room, and then you start piling through and processing and you get your
the
first tea bag, and then you start getting all your shit. Right? You don't get to your room. Or you don't get to your the squad bay
to the end of the day.
End of the day,
yeah.
It's
and you just carrying all that stuff around.
All the shit.
I wasn't tripping about that. Though,
yeah. And then I laid down, and I was "This is a real thing.
Yeah,
this is a real thing. If I wake up tomorrow, I know you're good. I am still going to be here for the next 3 months, right? So it was. It definitely is weird. But okay, so when you first got there, you go through freaking the first few days that get introduced to the drill instructors.
Yeah.
Right. You have, I believe, I forget what it's called. You have that initial
forming phase, I think they call it.
Well, whatever that initial physical assessment is. What is it called? It's not the CFT. It's not the PFT.
Oh, the IFT.
IFT. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you had that, right? And you came back, and you're now in full. You've done a few days.
3 days, yeah.
Of waking up, getting on the line. You've now You're getting into the motion.
Yeah, you're starting to adapt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At what point or at any point did you think it was hard? Did you think it was easy?
I would say, me personally, like I'm very adaptable.
Okay.
So like being put into new situations, I'll be nervous, but like I'm confident in my physical abilities. Like I don't really fear, I guess, people. So the drone instructors, they'll pick like little things out that you could do. Like say they're
Sure.
yelling in your face, like you
And
just
they
being back like this.
and they notice that you like
Work.
a certain word ticked you off, and
Yes.
they can see a facial expression.
Exactly. Anything.
They'll
You bite your
go.
jaw,
Right,
like
right,
anything,
right.
right? So like people, like for example, I seen them do this. Like if they yell in your face and
Yeah.
you back up like this, they know they got you. Like
Right.
you're scared. So like when they yell in my face, I'm straight like this. Like
Yeah.
So like I guess in the beginning, I was very confident in myself. Like
Sure.
I wasn't. I just when they told me to yell, I yelled. When
Sure.
they told me to run,
Sure.
I ran. You know what I mean? I did what I had to do.
Yep.
And I was like a squad leader, which is like for the people that don't know, is like they have guide, which is like the leader of the platoon that you're in, then squad leader, which is like 4 other sub leaders, and then the scribe that like does the writing and stuff. And so I was squad leader because I think of my confidence and capabilities, and then I got COVID.
Oh shit! You did go through COVID.
Yeah, I did go through COVID.
That's a whole branch of conversation now. How did that differ from what was it? What was it like?
I had COVID, and we went to the medical because they have to give you vaccines in boot camp, right?
Yep.
That was like the time it was mandatory. Like you can't say no to a vaccine or you're not going to be military.
Yep.
So I had COVID, and I knew because I knew my symptoms, and it wasn't that bad. Like I had a backache or whatever, headaches, stuff like that. I told my lead drill instructor, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I know I have COVID. Like I told him, like I was like, sir, like this recruit has COVID. Sure, like I know my symptoms, you know. And then he was like, if you have it, you're gonna get dropped.
How was it with the squad base? Like, were you all quarantined in there?
No, I'll tell you how. Like right now, but like this is like backstory because I had COVID. I told him, he was like, if you have it right now, you're gonna get dropped. I was like, okay, fuck that. I'm not gonna like whatever.
Oh, they were dropping people.
They were dropping people for that. Yeah, because
it's such a weird time. Yeah, you can't train.
And they gave me my vaccines.
Oh,
and it made it so much worse. Like to the point, like I almost passed out on the
right.
squad base.
I mean, yeah, that makes like imagine like the flu times 10.
Exactly.
And then getting the flu injected.
Was so freaking bad. Like,
yeah.
And then I went. I tapped out. I was like, yo, like I can't. So he went. I tested positive. They just put me in a rack like far in the back.
Yep.
Like with this other kid that had COVID.
Okay.
His name is Bruce. I'll never forget him. He didn't make it. Love him, but he didn't make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruce. Me and Bruce just in the back while everybody's training. 2 days after though, I was like, yo, like, sir, like, get me back in. I'm good.
Okay.
And then that made him not drop me, he said, like, at the end. And then I was God for the rest of the, like, cycle.
Oh, no. Did you graduate as God?
I did. But they didn't give me, like, the honor platoon guide thing. Like,
where you get, like, that little fucking plaque
they gave
or
it to
whatever?
somebody else, yeah.
Okay.
For real.
No.
For real.
Okay. So that's really interesting. Now, so.
Yeah, okay. Brian.
Yeah, I know. Brian, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So you are in boot camp. Now, by the end of it, at any point did you think that it was like, this is hard? Like, I'm physically getting tested.
Yeah. I lost 20 pounds.
Okay, you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I'm already like 165. Like, it's a lot of stress. Like, there is not a moment where, like, even when you're sleeping, you're dreaming about, like, what's going on during the day. And you see kids getting wrecked. You're getting wrecked, you know, like, Hazel the time. I would say during field week, like, that week where you go to the field and you're, like, doing all this, infantry training and stuff like that. It was so taxing because, like, I had pulled my hamstring, but I didn't even know it. You know, I didn't know till after boot camp. And, like, I couldn't run, like, but I didn't know why. Like, I would be running and I can't go faster. I'm like, why is this guy passing me right now, you know? And my, like, all the drill instructors used to.
And you don't want to go to medical
you
because,
can't. You're going to get dropped. Right. Yeah. So my drill instructors are, like, blasting me and I don't know what's wrong, so I can't tell them what's wrong.
Sure. And
then I'm going through in my head, I'm like, what's wrong? Is my body failing on me? Like, I'm panicking.
Right.
And, like, it was just not a good time. And they actually removed me from God for, like, 2 days.
Did that go through the Crucible? Because field week is, like, right before the Crucible.
The hamstring?
Yeah.
It did, but I didn't know. Like, so I was just, like, pushing through.
Right.
Like, my body was doing what it could.
Right.
And I just kept going, like, and you see a lot of kids doing that boot camp, like, their hips, like, or like
Yeah.
the women for their hips, or like kids like break bones and still go. Like I had a squad leader. He tore his ACL. That 9-mile hike.
Oh, he tore it.
He did the whole thing.
Oh, on it.
On the ACL.
Just because he didn't want to get dropped,
he did the whole thing.
That's tough stuff. That's tough stuff. I'll be honest. What? Okay. Was the Crucible fun for you?
I like the Crucible. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it was fun.
I think it's like just a lot of like, I mean, it's tough, right? But there's a lot of, at that point in boot camp for me, it was like, I've already gone so far.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Right.
But it's also like almost funny.
It low-key is like,
because you know everyone so well,
exactly,
right, by then, and you're like, I'm crawling through the sand,
right,
with the four of the guys that I've known for 3 months,
and we're laughing,
and then you die, and then they're like,
and the funny part is the drill instructors are calling your name to find you, and you're trying to hide, like, but when they find you, oh my god, dude.
And at that point, because how long is boot camp? It is 3 months. So, I mean, what's the day? I don't know the specific day amount. It's 12 weeks. Yeah. But I mean, going off that, boot camp was yours shorter because of COVID?
No. So like
was it longer?
No, it was same.
Same. Okay.
Yeah, but my MCT was shorter.
Your MCT was shorter.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that in a second. Last thing before we move on from boot camp, what is something 13 weeks, Bonk says. Okay, 13 weeks, sure. He's the better Marine, I guess. What's something routine stretch? We're not doing those right now.
What happened?
So I have like points on here where people can redeem like me doing something.
Stretch.
So I stretch, or I stand up, or I hydrate, or whatever, right? What is a memory from boot camp besides getting the EJ? Maybe funny, memorable, like something that stands out to you from your boot camp experience that you would want to share.
Funny. Oh, actually, a good one that resonates with me at least. So in boot camp, you're doing the CFT, you're doing the PFT, right? The first CFT and PFT you do is like a trial one. And then like towards the later months, you do a PFT and CFT, but that's your like final one. Yeah. And that's the one that they take for the Marine Corps, like when you go to the fleet or like school or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that PFT, like I max, and then I was on the run. I wasn't trying to relax at all because it's boot camp. You don't have time to relax. But I remember running, and like feeling like such a sense of nostalgia, like running. Like I wasn't trying to run hard, but I wasn't running slow, but I was running. I'm just looking up in the sky, parasailing. Like it was nice. It was around November or like October. Yeah, it was nice. It wasn't that cold, like, which is weird. But looking up to the sky, and I'm just like running. He did it like, and like I'm running like this is the finish line or something, like, you know. But like I felt so good, like, and I was just singing the song in my head. I don't remember what song, but that's like one of my favorite memories from boot camp, like that, like really like.
Besides for the EGA thing,
besides the EGA,
because that one tops it. Man. I mean, for me, like walking back, it was like walking back on the Crucible. It's tough, and you're tired, and you're fucking carrying everything.
It's heavy, man.
And then get there, and you're in the formation, and that like is like it's like a, I don't know what it is. And we're talking like this is some special forces training. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like it's so rewarding.
It is 3 months, man. It's a long time. Like, you really underestimate it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you get to the fleet, and it seems a little different. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like there's so many funny stories that come from it too, because you're interacting. At the end, make your guests do as many push-ups until failing happy an ongoing challenge for every guest. Who's the strongest Marine?
Oh, man.
That actually might not be a bad idea, but I don't know if we're going to do it.
I say a viewer count if they get it to a certain viewer count.
Okay, so moving on past boot camp. Right. Past boot camp, you go to something called MCT or ITB. Yeah. Depending on your MOS, right? All MOSs, besides for grunts is a term that we will use probably throughout the podcast, like in later episodes as well, meaning something for an infantry Marine, right? We refer to them as grunts, and people that are not infantry, like us, are referred to as pogues, by grunts, right? Pogue stands for personnel other than grunt, right? So basically, everyone else other than grunt, that's pogue, and then grunts. So ITB is full of grunts, right? That's only for those Marines, and then Lam here went through MCT, which I did not. I went through ITB, right? So I don't know. It's similar. The two schools are similar, but also there's differences. It's shorter. They don't get weekends off, right? You don't get
we
weekends.
don't get weekends off.
Yeah.
But like it's like chill on the weekend.
Right, right. But like it's still a training day.
Yeah, it's still a training
right?
day. Yeah.
And also they do a few different training events.
For sure.
Right? Was that when you got to your MCT, did it feel harder?
No, MCT is definitely more lax than boot camp, but that's because you're not a recruit anymore. Like you're a Marine now.
You're a Marine,
you know?
right?
Like you're a baby Marine. You're a boot.
Now, sorry to interrupt. Another question: did you go to boot camp as a private or a P?
I went to a boot camp as a PFC.
A PFC, okay,
Yeah.
Because of the college.
Because of the college.
Okay,
exactly.
For people that don't know or anything about the Marine Corps, you can go to the recruiting office, and the lowest rank that you can be in any branch, right, is an E1, right? E1 in the Marine Corps is a private.
Yeah.
And what that, and the next is obviously E2, E3, and so on, right? You can go into boot camp as an E2, a private first class, if you have a certain amount of credits from college. There's a few other things that I believe that you can go on.
If you like get people from like two other people with you.
If you recruit with you, right, you can also get a promotion going into boot camp. So essentially, when you're in boot camp, you're getting paid as well in boot camp, and you're getting paid as that rank. So you're making a little bit of extra money while you're not able to spend it, right? And then actually, when you graduate boot camp, depending on if you're like the honor guide, right?
Yeah.
You have an option to get promoted at boot camp to Lance Corporal.
Depending on your company. Because I asked in golf company, like one time we had a classroom and the company commander was speaking. I was like, can we get promoted to Lance? I was already PFC. And I was thinking about the money. He was like, no, we don't do that in golf. But some companies do that.
Yeah. Because a buddy of mine from ITB was a Lance Corporal.
Nice.
And he got promoted at boot camp. His story's crazy.
That's fire.
But
yeah.
But
you're that guy if you do that though.
Has this guy ever been NJP? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that a little later. So you're at MCT, easier than boot camp in your opinion. Yeah. I mean, yes, because you're not a recruit anymore. You're a Marine, right? Yeah. It's still training.
But
was it hard?
The training was hard. Okay. But that's what I enjoyed about it. It was very physical. Like you did all MCT stands for Marine Combat Training, right? So you're doing everything rifleman. Like, always have a rifle on you. You're doing like sucky shit. You're building foxholes. You're doing like obstacle courses, and it was always fun for me. Like I like.
But it's fun. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like it's like you're doing stuff that like I feel like as a kid you're like I wanted to do this, and now you're doing it as an adult.
Yeah.
So it's hard, it's tough, but it's also like you get to shoot a bunch of things.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like things that
have a bunch of ranges.
The ordinary person wouldn't be able to do. Exactly. Now you're not doing it at some high level, frogman type of mentality, but you're still doing something enjoyable.
Cool. You're
Icy Boy. I'm an E5. I'm a sergeant, and this is my Lance Corporal. He's an E3. Okay, so MCT. You graduate MCT, and automatically that you're going. Did you take boot leave?
Like before MCT?
Yes.
Yeah, so they give you 10 days.
Yeah. Okay, so boot leave also for people listening is boot leave. Being a boot, okay, is being a new Marine, right? And it's called boot leave because you get 10 days of leave before you go to your MCT or ITB. You can take leave after the schoolhouse and come home, see your family, right? And then go to more training.
Yeah.
when you after boot leave, you got to MCT.
Yep.
You didn't take any leave from. Well, I don't even know if you're allowed any.
It depends. Like I said, my MCT was shorter. Like you normally have a 30-day MCT.
Why
I had
was
a
yours
20-day.
shorter? Because of COVID?
No, not because of COVID. It was because it was Christmas time, and the instructors like had I don't know what, but like they were like didn't want to work during the leave. Like every instructor was taking leave in that company. It was India company MCT, so they gave us the option like we have 20 days, right? So you either can stay here for 10 days doing nothing.
Yeah,
you can go on leave, or you can go on recruiters. So I went on recruiters.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, we'll get into that. Zerfact asked a question, what are some trainings you do? So I'm assuming you're talking specifically about MCT training. It differs, right? His experience is going to be different than mine because I went through ITB, right? Infantry Training Battalion, right? And like, for instance, myself, I got to shoot like crazy weapons, right? I got to throw a live grenade. I got to shoot a rocket launcher. I got to shoot the M240, which is like a huge machine gun that you see in movies. I got to shoot the regular M4, M16, the new. This is where I lose out on the gun stuff because I don't remember what the name is, but it's the new integrated weapon system that the infantry uses. And then it's a lot of hiking. It's a lot of like hiking to involved with going to where you're going to do the training. You wake up in your squad bay, you have everything packed, you know what you're about to do, and then you walk there. Whether it's 5 miles away, whether it's right down the road, you're walking there, right? A lot of it is that where they're trying to put you in a scenario where you as a Marine would need to be if you were in a combat scenario. Is it true that new Marines find it offensive to be called a boot? Is it?
I would say, for me, like I would say I'm a fairly new Marine. Like he does 8 years, right? Like your first enlistment, I feel like if somebody calls you a boot, cool. And there's different like criteria to being a boot too. Like some people be like, you haven't deployed, you're a boot, or et cetera, et cetera. But like I think of it as like boot, you're new, so that means put your head down and grind, right? But a lot of people have pride and be like, oh, I'm not a boot. Like
I don't think. I'm not going to say everything about it, right? Because there's a lot of other terms that you can probably imagine to come up in your own head about what boots are called.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Boot is not necessarily a derogatory term. It's someone. It's something to identify, right? Just like if you're a newbie at your job, wherever it is, like you're a boot, right? And it's just a military way of saying the new guy.
Fresh, yeah.
Dirk asks on TikTok, what's your opinion on firefighting and would you recommend getting into the military to pursue the field? I think that if you're into firefighting, I don't think you should join the Marine Corps for it. I think you should go Air Force or Army. I think in the Air Force or the Army, you get a lot more exposure to structural fires, which is why you would be interested in firefighting. In the Marine Corps specifically, we deal with aircraft firefighting and things of only revolving around aircraft, right? You get opportunities to do stuff like wildland fires. You get opportunities like this Marine is on like a deal that we have with our base fire department.
Shout out them, man.
And he gets to do that stuff, but that's only because he's on that training. It's not even training. He's been allowed to do that right now, but that is not going to be his career in the Marine.
Right.
But that's a later question for him on if he wants to pursue firefighting outside the Marine Corps. But so moving forward, we got MCT, right? And now you've graduated MCT.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. You are going to the schoolhouse. Tell them a little bit about, because I have to go to the fucking bathroom.
All right.
Tell them a little about the schoolhouse. If you enjoyed it. Was it easy? What was your hardest thing that you had to accomplish?
Oh, man. Okay. So, schoolhouse. So I finished MCT in December, right? I go to the schoolhouse in January after my recruiter's assistance, which is like you just go and help your recruiter find potential people to join the Marine Corps. Um, the schoolhouse, right? It was in San Angelo, Texas. It's a fire academy. I learned a lot. It was a very challenging time for me because I had like just graduated boot camp. I had this idea of the Marine Corps. I was coming out of boot camp very aggressive, very confident in myself, and like very angry, I would say, because of like I guess who I was before the Marine Corps. So I made it a challenge for myself because the person I decided to be. And so like the schoolhouse is meant to be 3 months, right? Like with when you're in class. Like sometimes it takes you a minute to pick up. So I got there in January, I picked up class. And it was like I did like maybe 9 months, I want to say, because it wasn't only just like failing classes or like doing other stuff. I was also like kind of in trouble too. So that'll hold you back. Like, oh,
Zerfact, no, this will not replace. This is just for Mondays, Marine Mondays.
how did he get back?
Who?
Or was that not him?
No. Brian, I was the best man in this guy's wedding.
Hell yeah.
He's not banned. He's just
Congratulations, brother.
held a message for. He was just pinning it.
Oh, okay.
What's your rank in Black Ops 6? And you can carry Reagan. He doesn't play video. Okay,
Yeah, I don't play video games.
Okay, so you're at Crash Crew. Did you have expectations based off of people telling you about firefighting, your knowledge on firefighting?
You talking about school or
The schoolhouse?
the schoolhouse?
Yeah. Like, did you?
No, I didn't know nothing about firefighting.
Okay, so you had like an open mind going into it.
Yeah, I was just ready. Yeah.
And so with that, did you expect to do the structural side? Like as far as
When it came to
like the school
Marine Corps.
Yeah, like because before the Marine Corps, you didn't, like you said, you didn't know what to expect.
I didn't, yeah.
But all you probably knew as someone, and firefighting in general, was they put out fires.
Yes, yeah.
And most likely homes.
Right? Yeah.
Did you think that's what you were getting into? Or did you have some idea that it was going to be
I had some idea it was like aircraft firefighting, right? Because again, my talk with that recruiter was that it's not firefighting, but it's specialized, you know? But the schoolhouse, I knew the schoolhouse was like general basics because you got to get your firefighter 1 and 2, all your certs and stuff like that. So, yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know anything about firefighting.
Like, I'm the same way. I did not know anything about it. And I also didn't know that it was the aircraft side of it. Well, I take that back. I had somewhat of an idea because I came into
From recon,
and I chose to go there because of the research.
A lot of recon guys do that. I feel like it's the next best.
It's like almost the next best because it's either you go back to the infantry and you just keep doing grunt stuff, or the way that I looked at it was that I was looking for something that could help me outside of the Marine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was looking for something that I wasn't going to waste my time. Right. And though now 8 years later, I don't necessarily want to do firefighting outside the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I still think that it was super beneficial with the amount of time that we have. Right. And we can get into that, but okay. So the schoolhouse, fun, right? There's some memories from that. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I know I have memories. I don't know how, where it was the 7051 guys, were you on restriction? Because I know that a lot of the times at the schoolhouse they say no off-base liberty.
So it depended. Like if somebody messes up really bad, then everybody's libos taken.
Everyone's libos, yeah.
They kind of like stopped doing that and had phases of liberty. So it was like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Oh, so there's like a level
liberty.
To it.
Yeah, and then no liberty.
Okay.
And
was phase 1 like you were allowed to like go to the PX?
No, phase 1 is like the phases, like how far you can go, basically. No liberty, you're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is like you can like go out of your room or whatever and like go explore, but not off base. Phase 2 could be like you go off base, but you have to be back at a certain time.
Okay.
And phase 3 is like on weekends or 96s, you can go get a hotel. Like on the weekend, you could go until the weekends end and come back, and then it would change too depending on.
Now, did you guys have formations on weekends where it was like if you didn't put in that
libo?
you had to put in like a little sheet if you wanted to stay in a hotel or something, right? But,
you
but if you didn't do that, you needed to come back from formation at 11. Is it still like that?
No, it wasn't like that. It was sometimes if you messed up, you had formation on the weekend, right? But like all hands, you know.
We had a formation every Saturday and every Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. We had off base liberty, but we had formation at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this, I would go to that formation fucked up. I would not remember going to that formation. I would wake up in the morning sometimes and be like, did I make it?
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And then I'd ask my buddy and they'd be like, yeah, you were. And I could only imagine.
Dehydrated as fuck the next day.
I could only imagine I was saying formation like, and then you hold your cat card up. You know, here, I'm here. You know? like
that's funny.
That part of the school, I hated the schoolhouse.
Really?
And I think Brian, who's in here, can attest for that because we were playing Xbox all the time.
Yeah.
And
is that you just here from Camp Pendleton, right?
No. Like Brian, my friend from Jersey. We would be playing all, and he knew like that I was at the schoolhouse. I have a really funny story actually I wanted to share because he's in here.
Right.
It was such like a genuine, like innocent response. I was playing with Brian, my buddy Chris, myself, and I think my buddy Mike.
Okay.
We were all playing Call of Duty. I knew that it was field day.
Right.
I had field day in my room, and I was going to get on the game and just wait for the sergeant and whoever else was checking that day to come by.
Yeah.
I had my headset on, and I didn't hear them. And they banged on the door, and I finally heard it. I was like, oh, shit. And I had my headset around my neck. And I opened the door, shirtless, just shorts on, right? I'm like, this is where it gets funny. It's where it gets funny.
God.
I go, Ross Sergeant. and Brian, not knowing that they could hear through, like, they didn't think that my headset was so loud that they could hear, goes, tell that bitch ass sergeant to shut up. I'm like, that's just, I don't know. And they started dying laughing.
No way.
They're not going to get in trouble. And I'm like, these are my friends from home. And I'm like, and the sergeant started dying too.
Yo,
and
that's funny, though.
They came in, inspected my room, and then like I got back on, and they were cracking up.
Nah.
It was so freaking funny in the moment because I was like, from the sergeant's point of view, I was probably like shell shocked.
No, like, for sure. Shit in your pants.
I was like, no.
And Brian's laughing at you the whole time. Like, he's getting fucked up.
It was the best. It was the best.
Funny.
But okay, so you graduated schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. When you got to the point where they gave you your like wish list, what did you put? East, West?
I put West Coast first.
Okay.
And then I put overseas. Then I put East last. Because my family's in the East Coast, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to be close enough to my family.
Sure,
But I also wanted to try something.
Okay.
So that's why.
And so for people that don't know, at most schoolhouses, Marines get an opportunity not to choose the base that they go to.
Yeah.
Especially coming right out of boot camp, they don't have an option. It's just the coast, right? So you will say West Coast, East Coast. Some Marines want to go overseas to Japan, right?
Yeah.
They're put overseas, right? And then that's like a guarantee because they're always looking for people to go. But okay, so you put West Coast.
I did.
Did you know the bases that were available to you?
I did.
Okay. Were you hoping for one specifically?
I wanted, I think Pendleton or Miramar, honestly.
Okay.
But I wasn't like, I dead set want this.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction when you're standing in that formation and whoever your lead instructor was up there reading the names and you heard 29 Palms?
I was like, I was like, fuck. I was like, of course, like, just my luck, you know? Like, I've been here for 9 months. I knew this was coming kind of to them, but like, it was
Did you come with anyone? Was Schimmel? Schimmel was okay.
My dog. Man.
And so that's I'll tell you this much: when you're standing there and you have no power over this, you have no control.
You really don't.
You have no control. You just are standing there and you get told, hear your name, and the station after it.
And that's
When
it.
I got told Pendleton, I think I couldn't feel my legs because I was so scared to hear Japan.
Really?
I didn't want Japan so bad. I was like, I don't want to go over.
Right.
I was like, I'll accept Yuma.
Yeah.
I was also praying not for 29 Palms, but I
Right.
was
Yeah.
like, whatever. And I heard Camp Pendleton. I was like, and then I called my mom after I got back to my room, and my dad and my sister, because they were all at home, and I was like, I got Japan. And my mom's like, no! Like fucking scream. And I was like, I'm just kidding. I got Camp Pendleton. She was so happy, blah blah blah.
About to give her a heart attack, bro.
But that was a really cool moment for me because, and it ended up being a cool thing because Pendleton, I think, was one of the main reasons why I re-enlisted.
Yeah, to this day, I mean, Pendleton is, I feel like, you know, my
one of the best
bases. I think it's one of the best
One of the best bases. I feel like just because of the location.
Yeah.
Even Miramar is Center City, San Diego.
Right.
But like Pendleton, you have the option to go not necessarily in the city of San Diego.
Right,
you have
yeah.
Oceanside, Carlsbad,
exactly.
San Clemente. The base is so big. You have so much to explore.
Man.
It's like,
God.
For people that don't know,
Camp
Camp Pendleton is the size of the state of Rhode Island. Like
it's
the
really
dimensions
big.
of that is like it's literally the same size.
Right.
But okay, so you graduated. You heard you're coming to 29.
Yep.
You're kind of pissed off. You're ready to what from that day until you actually leave? It's like what, maybe 2 weeks.
So that's the thing. I was during the time of like money shut off.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? So they try to it's like the fiscal year, end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
So they was like, Marine Corps has no money to send you or whatever.
Yeah.
Buy your own ticket and then we'll reimburse you. I said no. I'm not buying my own ticket because I'm not getting that money back.
Yeah,
right.
You never get the money.
You never get the money back. If you keep the receipt and do a whole long process, you might, right? But so I waited and I was like, I graduated August 4th, and I left a month and a half after that.
A month and a half.
Yeah, some people leave the next day. Some people leave in 3 days.
I left like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
wow, a month and a half.
A month and a half.
You're just chilling.
Yep.
You
graduated,
yep. Right? You're working out probably, going to the PX,
like doing whatever.
Chilling.
Yeah.
You still have to go to formations though and stuff. Yeah. Because you're still under their like accountability.
You do have to go to formations, but
here and there, kind of you might get away with it.
Exactly.
Okay. And so in that time frame, because you had a lot of time, right? Were you having any expectations of coming to the fleet, like what you were hoping it was going to be like, or like what you were looking to get out of it? Now that you're officially a Marine, you're officially a crash crew Marine, and you're coming to your first duty station as a PFC, right? Like, what were you expecting?
I was just trying to be as proactive as possible, and like all I could think about is like the people I know here. Like before, like the people I knew in the schoolhouse, but now I know that they're here. Right. Like trying to get like what goes on here, like what to be prepared for, what should I do to better myself, right? So you
did know people here.
I did know people here.
And what was the feedback they were getting?
They were just like, as long as you do what you need to do, you know, and like get these things done before you go, like ICSs, NIMS or whatever. Yep. You should be fine and just like be hungry, bro. Like,
who was your sponsor?
So my sponsor was Corporal Saman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That Marine is still here, by the way. That's why it's funny. But okay. And so she was just telling you kind of like, get your shit done.
Yeah, what to expect.
Were you nervous?
No, not really.
No?
No.
You were just excited just to finally get to one place and be there?
I was, and I was just like, I think I was like the schoolhouse makes you motivated, like, you know what I mean? Because like, they give you even more freedom than NCT, one. And then two, like, you're really training, and it's so exciting because the training is intense. Like, I can't even lie. Like, the training is intense. You're actually like fighting fire.
What was harder for you? Was it the mental side of the schoolhouse as far as like studying?
For sure.
Yeah. I think I think compared to when I went in, like especially with the medical side, and you guys having to do EMR there and stuff, I think it's a lot harder, man. Because like they give you 3 weeks to 10 days.
7 days.
7 days.
7 days
to learn all of EMR.
All EMR.
And pass the national registry. What happens if you don't pass the national registry?
So if you fail it, they give you like strikes, right? In the schoolhouse, all together, there's 5 blocks, right? If you fail 5 times, you're out, right?
If you fail the national registry.
No, if you fail 5 times in the whole school, you're out. But on the national, say you're in EMR, right?
Yep.
That's one block.
Uh-huh.
If you fail 3 times in that block, you're finished. I think if you fail the national registry, 3 times. If you fail it 3 times, you're done. You're cooked. Yeah.
Okay. And just for everyone's essay, right? Like getting re-MOS means getting a new job, going through that schoolhouse again. It's even longer until you get into the real Marine Corps, right? So you have to go through more training, probably to another state, and it's this whole long process. So super annoying. So you didn't have any expectations really. You knew what you were gonna have to do when you got here.
Yeah.
As a new Marine, as a new boot, right?
Yeah.
But like you weren't necessarily nervous beyond the first jitters. It was just, I want to get there. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I really wasn't nervous.
Okay.
Like, I came here head up high, like I was ready.
And you got here.
Yeah.
And was this your first time on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Okay.
First time.
Same, right? When I got to ITB, it was my first time as well. Yeah. So you got over here. You probably saw the desert wasteland that you'd be working in.
I was like, dang, like,
and you.
This is the hood, but not. Like, this is crazy.
And so, like, your first day of work, you're checking in your alpha. Mm-hmm. How did the first week look?
So you know our gunny, like.
Well, okay, like, so was Parker here?
Yeah.
As
he was a staff sergeant at the time. But
and Gunny Meyer or Master Myers?
I didn't meet him.
Oh, you weren't. So it was just Parker. It's just how it is now.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So he has me and Shim in his office, and he's talking to us like, and BD, what's up, brother? I was trying to like keep my bearing, like, and not like be comfortable. And I could tell Shimon was like shitting his pants, like he was scared.
Oh, you guys got here on the same day,
time,
so checked in. Okay,
everything,
got it,
right?
Got it.
So we're doing everything together, and like that first week was just like kind of, I had to make sure that I wasn't getting comfortable. I had to make sure that I, like, the things that they taught me to do in that short time, I did it without having to being asked.
Right.
I had to make sure that, like, I was doing things ahead of that too, like, to make sure that when it comes, I have it done already. Like,
now, were you doing that because you, like, that is your work ethic, or was it more out of like I want to get this done, so I'm off the radar?
It was both.
Okay.
Like, you never want to be on the radar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, being babysat, like, as a Marine, like, that's the last thing you want, like, you know, because that's what the Marine Corps will do. Like, if you show them, like, you need to be babysat for the job to get done, the mission, like, they're going to do that, you know? And it's going to be super lame. Yeah. You know what I mean? For lack of a better term.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, from what I heard, right, because I think I got here, when did you get here?
You got here February of that
January
year.
So a year after you?
No, like a few months.
Oh, a few months.
5 months,
okay.
Maybe.
So, and I even heard in that few month time frame, like, things had changed.
A lot.
Yeah. Right?
A lot, yeah.
Because certain people had left.
Exactly.
I think I was the only necessarily new person that came after you, right? I was like you and Schimmel got there, and I was the
you were the first one after like a few months.
Okay. And so now that you've been here for a year, right?
Yeah.
What has this past year met your expectations coming here? Does that make sense? Right? Like,
yeah, it does.
Though you say you didn't have a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
What was this first year looking back on it like?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say yes and no, because like.
So let's hear the yeses and why and
yeses,
the no's and why.
So my biggest thing, like for myself, right, is to better myself. Like, whatever it is, like that day, if I wake up, I'm feeling weak, I'm gonna go hit the gym and be better, you know?
Sure.
If I don't know something, I'm gonna try and know it now. Yeah. Or like be a better dad. I have 2 kids, by the way, and a wife. Be a better dad, be a better husband, right?
Yep.
And so like me being here for this last year, I feel like I've asserted myself, you know? Sure. I gained the confidence of like an ARF Marine, like to the point where like I know what I'm doing. I'm a trusted ARF guy, and I know what I'm doing, and like I don't need supervision, like you know what I'm saying, like and like even as a leader, I feel like at my low level.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
ARF, by the way, for anyone talking, is an abbreviation for Aircraft Rescue Firefighter, and we say ARF. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
ARF. Yeah. So even at my low level, like me and you talked about this a few times too, like being a 360-degree leader and not. What is he saying?
That's Wilmans. He's a recruiter.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
see.
But
Don't worry about the chat.
okay. So we being a 360-degree leader, like having the ability to follow and like choose your mentors, knowing who to surround yourself with, and also having the ability to lead, like have direction, like do your task, but also delegate, like so like everybody's thriving and not just yourself.
Right.
And like just being competitive and finding balance and like finding myself in the Marine Corps. I feel like all of those things, I've met my expectation on like bettering myself, one, finding balance, becoming a better Marine and person.
Okay, so internal expectations.
Yeah, internal
what you had for yourself.
Exactly.
You feel like you've met them.
Right.
And you said yes and no's.
No.
So no's.
No, right? So from the schoolhouse is active, right? Like schoolhouse, you're burning all the time, you're learning all the time, you're doing all this stuff.
Yep.
The Fleet Marine Corps, like you're still a Marine and you're still an ARF Marine too.
Yep.
Like, and we don't pray for the pilots to crash, but the pilots, they're good at their job, and this is a training squadron. So not a lot of emergencies happen to us for us to respond to.
So your expectation of what you could be doing
as a job, it wasn't
as the job.
That didn't meet my expectation at all.
From you training every day at the schoolhouse and learning and stuff.
Exactly.
That kind of fell off.
Yeah, it did.
And I will say this for people who are understanding our MOS throughout this conversation. In my opinion, that is because this Marine and other Marines that get stationed here for their first duty station are not set up for success because of that reason.
Yeah.
I think that they come, they're excited, they're motivated, like he was saying, out of the schoolhouse. There's a lot of training and stuff, but you don't get to implement it here.
Right.
As compared to another duty station.
Yeah, and then, like, not because we train. Like, training-wise, we're good. Right,
it's
like,
more along the lines of just the aspect
actual
that
real life
Miramar is a larger airport than 29 Palms.
Right.
Yuma, I think, the largest Marine Corps air station is way different than 29. The amount of aircraft that we can get, the things that happen just due to the amount of the quantity of aircraft coming through.
Exactly.
What is going to be more involved there? Emergencies. Because things are bound to happen, right? And that's not necessarily an emergency where a plane crashes, but like something where just a check engine light.
Yeah, or hot brakes or something.
You having to respond to something.
Right,
You getting into the motion of getting dressed.
Exactly.
Getting into the vehicle.
The P-19,
and going, right? And so I agree with him. And from someone coming here not as a first duty station, I couldn't agree more because it's true. Like the experiences that I got to have because I was stationed at Camp Pendleton
is way different,
way broader, and I have a lot more experience than I don't know if he's watching, but like, fuck, I forgot.
Oh.
Who was the dude who when I got here? We went to his going away. Connor. His experience as a sergeant, PCSing from here, his first duty station, then me PCSing here as my second duty station, it's massive.
Yeah, it's
right?
crazy. Yeah.
I got to go on a deployment. You guys don't get that opportunity if you're non-deployable station, right?
And not even now a detachment.
Exactly, right? I got to experience like different avenues of training through ARF with Trap.
Crazy.
And like
that's basically the guides for ARF. Like, that's really
Trap is cool. That if that was an MOS in itself, I'd do. But like I agree, right? That is I think the downside of coming here for first duty station. I don't think, and it's not anyone here's fault by any means.
Right.
But I don't think that the Marine Corps factors that in to setting Marines up for success and like worrying about retention and stuff.
Agreed, yeah.
I think that they should try at least to factor that in to sending a Marine to their first duty station. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, agreed.
I think that would be hard, right? Like it's probably easier said than done.
Right.
But like looking at the fact that out of all the places that an ARF Marine could go,
29.
Which is such a small MOS in general.
Yeah.
That probably might not be as hard as sending someone to an infantry unit, right? There's so many people, right? How can you do that? With an ARF, there's only certain duty stations we can go that have airports.
Because it's so specialized, yeah.
And the fact that we have such a small airfield in general, maybe they can work on sending Marines other places and having this be second termers,
Right.
or people that aren't necessarily crash crew, right? Maybe just have the bare minimum here and then have it worked by base fire.
That would be a good idea,
right?
yeah.
And then that way it enables a Marine to go experience ARF somewhere else and learn the job.
Yeah.
And then if they have to come here as a sergeant or something on their second enlistment, or
Right.
third, then so be it. Right.
Right.
That's
I
the
agree.
time that they have to give back. But,
I agree, yeah.
that's
like you said, the hardest said than none. But like I do think that 29 can also be like very good for you though. Like
right. But I will say this, and I think I've said it to you before. I give a lot of props for people who come here for the first enlistment and decide to re-enlist after. I don't know how someone comes here as their first enlistment as a junior Marine and says, I want to keep doing.
Right, yeah. That's
as an
hard.
ARF Marine.
I mean, you could be hungry to find out what it actually like. Though,
Sure. And depending on your age, maybe and stuff, when
True.
maybe
situation too.
Yeah, situational based. But like that has to be like
29 is only something you can experience, y'all. Like I feel like we could talk about it, but you won't get it unless you're like here. You know, like it's an experience though.
Okay, so moving forward, you're here. You have your EAS. EAS, for anyone who doesn't understand, is when you get out of the Marine Corps, right? That's your end of active duty service, EAS, right? Your EAS is in 2026, right?
Yep.
2026?
Yep.
Okay. 2026, you have
a year and a half
left. Do you plan to re-enlist?
It's still in the works, though. Like,
sure.
The Marine Corps' answer is always going to be yes, right? But,
well, I mean,
yeah. We being here, I would say, again, I love the Marine Corps. I've bettered myself. I learned a lot. This is like the first time, like in my life, in years, that I had like mentors, like men I looked up to, and I was like, okay, I want to be like him. You know, so there's that. There's ARF, right?
Right.
Which is like me going somewhere else, like we just said too. Like I could actually do the job, but again, I have a wife and 2 kids,
right?
And like as you grow more, like in the Marine Corps, you assume more responsibility. With that responsibility comes less time for your family, and like that's like probably the biggest thing that would hold me back, because I have like young boys and I really want to like be there for them when they're like growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Going into that, do you think, in your opinion, right? Because I'm a single Marine, right? Versus someone who's married with children,
right?
Do you think that having children or having a family or being married compared to a single Marine, do you think that makes it harder or easier?
It's definitely harder when it comes to being there for your family, because it's easy to say but it's good to have like that motivation, because that's what motivates me to go hard, you know? Like my boys, like I can look at a photo of them and I'm like, okay, I gotta be better than you or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's way harder, because after you get home from work, you have to leave work at home. You have to be a dad. You have to be a husband. Your wife's been either at work or at home all day taking care of the kids, and now it's your turn.
Okay.
And so like that never ends. The only time you have for yourself is like maybe you're working out, or like the time you have right before bed, like you said, staring up, thinking about the world, you know?
Right.
And then it's repeat. You know what I'm saying? So like
now, would you say being in an MOS like Crash Fire Rescue has given you, though you haven't dealt with another MOS, you've met through training and stuff.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Different MOSs.
I have. Yeah.
Do you think that being in this MOS has given you and your family more of an opportunity to have more time together compared to another MOS?
Man, I feel like it was fate that I got 29 palms.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because we're a detachment and we have 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Or like a wing, right? But not really.
Yep.
And being stationed like Camp Pendleton, you guys have 48 and then 72, 48,
like
72.
Shift
schedule, right? Which would work out because I've done base fire for my family, but I want to like, I can only speak for my situation. I want to say like having the leadership I have, like the leadership that actually looks out for you, leadership that actually like can relate to you, or like see that you're working hard. So like, don't babysit me, right? Like, I mean, so I don't get babysat, but I'm doing what I got to do. So if I got to go take care of my family right now, like, you know, allow me the because I don't have to. Because you don't have to at all. Like I have to be at work, you know.
Yes.
But if I'm getting my stuff done, I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realize like, why would I stop? You know.
Yeah.
So I got lucky.
I think that's there. You know, depend. And if you're watching and you're not in the Marine Corps and you have a question about that, or like you're wondering what he means by that, I think that is a large misconception with civilians, right? For anyone who's not in the Marine Corps, we're going to call you civilians.
Yeah.
They, in that essence, right? Yes, I have not dealt with a career field outside of the Marine Corps for this long period, right?
Yeah.
But I think I can confidently say that as a civilian, that aspect of being able to go do what you need to do.
Yeah, nobody can stop you.
No one can stop you.
Nobody can stop you.
Exactly. The Marine Corps can.
The Marine Corps can definitely stop you.
They can stop you at any moment. And they can be like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
and if you like persist, you could go to the brig. Like, brig is military jail. Like, they will take your ass to jail.
Right. And that's the thing where it's like, I think in that aspect, that is a large reason why I chose 7051 coming out of recon, because I had done my minimal research, right, that I could have.
Yeah.
But I had learned that and thought to myself, in an infantry MOS, you're there. Your time is consisted of in the field. Right. Or if you're not in the field, you're in your barracks cleaning your weapon and your gear for the field. 1,000. Yeah. And you don't have and I won't speak for everyone. Right. Because I am not a grunt, right? But I've met and worked with enough grunts that they don't have time to do college. They don't have time to like get the opportunity to maybe like enhance their post Marine Corps career. That's true. Right? Or have time to like make like the effort to have family time and separate that work from home life. Right, yeah. Whereas as an ARF Marine, no matter if you're working at an air station that works as a shift or you're working on a wing unit that works a 9 to 5, you still have the availability to like have the personal time. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's still busy, but you have the opportunity to sit there and say, hey, yeah, I have off time, but I need to do college. Yeah. I need to get my classes done. I need to work on my CDCs. Yeah, it's a and
depending on your MOS, it's a whole different ball.
Right, it's like a whole different ball.
It's different for everybody.
And I think it's interesting because, and depending on who's watching, maybe I don't know who will take offense to this, but I think that people in ARF get very comfortable and they don't actually realize that side of things.
Yeah, like how good they have it.
How good they actually have it.
Yeah, that is very true. I agree completely with that, yeah.
Whereas like, we work together. I complain a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. Yeah. But I always tell people who always make fun of me for complaining, that's how I get through things. Yeah. If I'm on a fucking 10-mile hike, whether it was in recon or it was an ITB or some training, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. I don't want to do this. Right. But I know for a fact that I can do it and probably better than most people. Right. Fair, yeah. So like, I'm going to do it. But it still sucks, right? Yeah. It doesn't take away from the fact that it still sucks,
and then you're still gonna do it,
and I'm still gonna do it. Yeah, right. So true. Like, why are you giving me shit if I'm still gonna? But regardless, right? Like, I feel like
love to complain. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, damn.
You know what I mean? Like, but I think I complain because I want everything to be equal. I don't want people and Marines to be treated differently based on the fact that we are ARF, and just because we have our own schedule, that means that another MOS can say, why are you not at work? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's our job. If you don't like that, then move to our job.
Right, yeah, fair, yeah.
Stop complaining about something that you can't change.
They do be hating. What up, AJ? Dog, man. They do be hating on ARF, though. I'll say that. So 1,000%.
That's the one thing. But we can get into a whole nother conversation on that, but we'll be wrapping it up probably soon. So now that you have the family, right? We've talked about the re-enlisting. You're still weighing the pros and cons, from what it sounds like.
Facts. Can't even get in.
How can they hate from the outside?
Can't even get in.
So question for Lam: who is someone you look up to in the military? Someone you truly admire? Maybe Rudy's coming in here with the fire question.
Yeah, that's a fire-ass question, too.
That's a great question. Yeah. Let's hear the answer.
Who's someone I look up to? Oh, man, I have a few mentors. You know,
Take a second to think more.
'cause-
I'll say this. Before he answers this, I want to premise this with, in the Marine Corps, it's such a small group of people. Like, I guess the entire Marine Corps, yeah, theoretically it is large, but not as large as 600,000 people in the Army, right?
yeah,
It's a tight group, and when you talk about ARF, it gets even tighter because it's such a small MOS.
everybody know everybody, man.
And if you stay in, you will know the same people no matter where you go. You will meet people that have been best friends with that individual, and you might, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
it's
right.
a small group. And so I'll say this before he answers: meeting someone in an MOS that small in an already small Marine Corps is few and far between, because I think that the Marine Corps, depending on the individual, people can get very stuck in their ways about how the Marine Corps should be, and they're tough to cope with the changes that are happening and like people's lifestyles. And when you, as someone who knows that you are a good leader, or you want to be a good leader, or you want to look up to someone, yeah, and you find an individual that you can categorize as like a solid mentor, it's a big deal, right? So we're gonna take a quick break while he goes to the bathroom, because I'm really excited to hear this answer. Any other questions? While if you want to type them now, while we have a second, that way we can answer them. Because we're hitting an hour and a half, about an hour and a half. We're gonna be closing up the podcast soon. I want to hear a few more things from Lamb, and then we'll be calling it a night. Well, who do you admire, Reagan? Okay. Well, I guess I'll answer that question, right? I think, without diving really deep into that question, and if you know me, you probably have somewhat of an idea about my mindset with the Marine Corps. I have found only a few people, and I would say a handful of people, have made an impact on me in that way. I'll shout out two people. I know that they're not in here. But Gunny Corral, he just retired, 20 years in the Marine Corps. And at the time that I knew him, Sergeant Kingsbury, now Chiwo Kingsbury, he probably had one of the largest impacts on me. And so, where do you get your linen shirts? I don't know. That's a code for something, and I don't know.
No, it's no code. I think he's just trying to fry me without frying me, though.
But yeah, I think those two individuals have made a large impact on me, due to the mindset that they've allowed me to open my mind to, and how I would like to emulate their leadership styles, on my Marines, right? I think, yeah, Gunny Corral and Chief Officer Kingsbury. Those are the two. Those two I like. Shout out. But okay, Lamb, your answer.
Yeah.
You don't have to dive too deep into it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dive too deep, but I have two also that like really be in my head. Like sometimes I like think about like how they did things, or like
Sure.
So mine, like I knew him at the time as Staff Sergeant Tornado. He's a warrant officer. So
Staff Sergeant
Tornado. Yeah, now he's a warrant officer.
You met him at the
schoolhouse. Yeah,
he was Staff Sergeant at the schoolhouse.
Yeah, now he's a warrant officer.
Got it.
And he's out on the East Coast. And Gunny Parker. No glaze though. Nobody like. I know he's gonna get on me like you suck it. Yeah, you know. But really though, because see, like already, bro. But I'll say that because like
I'm assuming they both probably have the same. You have the same answer for both. So
yeah, you know, like the first off, I'm a Lance Corporal, right? Like having a mentor that will actually take time out of their time to like really form you and like teach you how to lead.
Sure,
that's crazy for me. That one,
right?
And two, like it's not just Marine Corps wise, like they're like it's like life mentorship. So it's like I could call them for whatever I need, and like they'll help me out, or like they'll keep it a stack with me, to like keep it 1,000, like 100 with me, like. If I'm messing up and like I'm wrong, they're gonna tell me straight up I'm wrong. Like
Yep.
Or if I get them mad, like I do something,
Mm-hmm.
the next day they're not gonna hold that grudge and like withdraw from me or do nothing like
Right.
or like something goes wrong, just their attitude and the way they handle situations. Like
I
I look
think
up to that
I
a lot.
agree with that point. Whereas I think the hard thing to find in the Marine Corps is someone who will separate like what we call a blasting.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I blast someone and I'm like angry at that in that moment at them,
Yeah.
separating that from the next day and not bringing it over to the next day, I think shows good leadership.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like everyone works together, right? Like if it's a mistake, everyone makes mistakes, especially in the Marine Corps.
Right.
And because of that, the point of the blasting was to correct the mistake on the spot.
Right.
And you as a leader,
and sometimes it's the lesser evil.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But as you as a leader, if you don't trust that Marine that you're correcting to make the correction, well, then how are they going to grow as a leader, as a Marine themselves, right? If you're just holding them to that opinion already, then you're failing them because you're not giving them the opportunity to show you that they're changing.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think in that essence, it's hard to find a Marine like that.
Right.
That has those qualities as a leader.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But okay. I agree, right? Because and what I was saying while you were in the bathroom is that it's hard to find those individuals because, in my opinion, in today's Marine Corps, you have 50-50. You have people who are still stuck in their ways and don't want to change and think that the Marine Corps should be this.
Yeah.
And people who are
evolving with the
times and understanding like, hey, that might have worked, back in Fallujah, but like it's 2025 and like if we want a better Marine Corps, we need to like push forward.
You gotta evolve. Yeah. But
so I agree.
like you said, like I feel like in today's Marine Corps, the people that's like already kind of did what they had to, like they're leading with the rank, not with who they are as a person.
Sure. Now, do you think that is different in other branches?
Like, what do you mean?
That mindset.
What, leading with rank?
With the rank, and like, do you think you find that more in the Marine Corps? Or you think that you find that more?
I think all the other branches are soft. That's just me being real. Like, anybody can take it how they want, I just feel like the Marine Corps, like, having that traditional balance,
right?
But also having the ability to evolve and like grow your leadership from like doing unnecessary things to get to a point, rather than doing like stuff that can actually make somebody learn what they're doing wrong. Is different. I feel like maybe the Army, it's the same kind of the Marine Corps, but like Air Force and Navy, those are corporations, man. It's not military.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I agree with it. Okay. Now, one of the last things what's your favorite flavor of crayon?
Now that
that's a good one. Okay, last question that I'll leave you with. And I want to hear an honest answer.
Okay.
Do you think that there's individuals in the Marine Corps that let me rephrase this.
Don't deserve to be in the Marine Corps?
Not deserve. Oh, that's my TikTok. Oh, we're still here. So do you think that in the Marine Corps there are people that oh my god.
Yeah, you gotta do it. Over there, the other side.
Okay, we're back. Okay. Do you think that there are people in the Marine Corps that think they are owed something because they joined them? They chose.
Like have a sense of entitlement?
Yeah,
1,000%.
Whether that's outside the Marine Corps or in the Marine Corps. Like, do you?
No, like I think I want to say like the one thing I would give the older generations, right? They got everything from the mud. Like really though, like they built tough, Like, and I was raised by older parents, so I feel like I try to embody that.
Sure.
But I'm still young, right? I'm not old.
Right.
You're old.
No, I'm not.
but like the younger generations, like I guess, like end of millennials and down to Gen Z,
Okay.
like very entitled, like because everything was kind of handed to us. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like joining the military, a lot of people think like they rate something they don't. Like you have to earn everything you get, like
Okay.
regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
And then once you earn it, you got to stand on that or better yourself than that.
Sure.
So you could be, I could be the best Marine in the shop today, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And tomorrow, they Marty and Walker beat me, but they keep beating me.
Right.
And like even though I was the best that day, doesn't mean I rate shit. Like you got to keep performing to that high level, no matter what it is you're doing in the Marine Corps. Whether it's down to a CFT, PFT, whether it's down to Marine JPEG score, where it's down to knowing your ARF knowledge, stuff like that. Like I feel like you have to earn everything, and that's just me. And I feel like people come into it like they feel like they got the EGA and they made it, you know?
Right.
Like or like they accept like their limitations. You know what I mean? Like instead of breaking those, like if they're overweight, you know, I can't do it. Like yeah, you can. Like just put in that pain, like put that pain in.
Okay.
And it'll.
So what would your advice be to someone who has that mindset of they have that limitation and like in your opinion from a junior Marine, right? What would your advice be to overcoming that or trying to break out of the mindset that that the Marine Corps broke them?
Okay, so I want to
or blaming the Marine Corps on the fact that they are at a certain level.
Like a certain standpoint, like
sure.
Okay. So I would say firstly, like focus on what you can control, right? Like you're already here, you're in a contract, like nothing's gonna change, bro, like unless you change it in what you control, the span of your control. Meaning like surround yourselves with people that's always trying to better themselves. Surround yourselves with the people that's doing good. That don't mean like hang out with them, but like when they grind and go into the gym, go to the gym with them. When they want to study, go study. Like and like make that time for yourself to chill too. But also like humble yourself. Like have that ability to be quiet, like shut up and listen, bro. Like just listen because God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Like listen, soak up everything you can knowledge wise, and then like replay it in your head. And like when you get the ability to showcase that, do that, and like it'll show. Like no matter what you do, like you feel like you put in a lot of pain. I feel like, and like you're not getting what you deserve out of it. But no matter what, like you will get it. Like something will show. Like people will see it.
Right.
Even if you don't get it now, if you get it 5 years, but it's gonna come.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in that.
Okay. Well, honestly, I think we ran for what, like an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good conversation.
I enjoyed that for sure.
I hope the people who stayed in here enjoyed it. I hope that they learned something.
Yeah.
I hope that they come back for next Monday. But I want to thank everyone who came in for the first podcast. I thank for the people who asked questions. I appreciate the interactiveness. I appreciate you guys for staying in for this long. I hope that this is something that continues to grow.
What?
And I'm really excited for it. So please, if you have anyone who is interested, what is your favorite saying?
Damn, she really. That's a good one too.
Okay.
I got a few. When he
Okay, yeah.
This was just funny. Like when he first got here, we used to fry him all the time because he used to like when something's funny, he used to be like, "It's hysterical," and start dying. Like we're like, "Why are you saying like that big ass word for no reason?" He's like, "I don't know. It just sounds more like effective to like the mood, like because he's just old as shit. Like, he's just old as shit." But an eye opener, I would say like he is one of my mentors too. Like we haven't met each other for a long time, but surrounding myself with him, I've bettered myself already, like in a lot of ways. So like an eye opener that I would say that he gave me is like how he says he complains a lot, right? But in that complaining and in like him not maybe being the happiest or where he wants to be, there's nothing that's gonna stop him from doing his job. You know what I mean? Like so I know he comes to work every day and he's like, this is the baseline for me, like, you know, having that work ethic to like keep doing what he's got to do. And like we've had talks about this, like, and it's no shade on anybody else, but it's just a mindset. Like I know that he thinks, and I know that he knows that I think that I'm better than everybody. Like, And it's not like, you know what I mean? Like,
True.
And it's not like I'm in, like, it's not no, like, oh, you suck. But, like, I know I have the capability to be better than everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
like, and we've had conversations about that, like, and I know he thinks that way too, like, and we gonna compete no matter what. It's always friendly too, like,
Yeah.
you know? But, like, and when he beats me, like, for the CFT, I don't know how he did it. It's old ass. Like, he beat me on the movement under fire, but I was like, yeah, that's how it should be. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I looked at that, I'm like, next year I'm on your ass.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. But you don't get that in a lot of Marines, right?
No, you don't.
In other Marines, you don't have that like competition.
Yeah.
Where it's like friendly or like pushing you. It might like degrade that person's mindset.
Exactly.
Or motivation.
It's a mindset.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
You know. So.
All right, baby Rudy, save those questions for next week. I will say you came in here hot with these
MVP
questions.
right there. Man.
But again, thank you everyone for staying in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming. If you haven't already, please follow the Twitch. Please follow on TikTok. Share the stream or the link with as many people as you can who think would be interested in the conversation, learning more about the Marine Corps, different MOSs. Next week, we're going to have another Crash Fire Rescue Marine on, but in my opinion, he's a very unique Marine due to the fact that he's been in 3 different MOSs under one contract. And we can get into that next week, and you can find out more about the MOS that he came into the Marine Corps for, and the MOS that he's in now, which is Crash Crew, right? And his journey through that. So thank you for watching again, guys. This is a huge day. I'm really happy about it. And we'll see you next Monday. If you watch, Zerfax, sorry, favorite Marvel Rivals character, Punisher, probably. If I had to say, but yeah, tune in next week. If you watch me on stream for gaming, obviously tune in tomorrow. I will be live. But thank you again. Please subscribe if you don't want to deal with the ads on Twitch. Please share the stream, and everyone have a great rest of their Monday.
Oh yeah.
Good night.